Hello, I'm Amy Stewart. From the Ground Up was my first book. It's a memoir about my first garden in Santa Cruz, California. When I wrote this book, I was just out of college, working at my first real job and living in this little house near the ocean where everything was in bloom year-round. And I'd never planted a garden before, but it seemed like you just couldn't help but be a gardener in a place like Santa Cruz. So, I made all the mistakes that every beginning gardener makes. I planted the wrong plants in the wrong place at the wrong time of year. Basically, I just went to the garden center every Saturday morning and bought whatever was in bloom. I was totally impulsive and I really just couldn't help myself. So I grew a ton of flowers, vegetables from seed. I don't seem to have a lot of pictures from those days, but my cat managed to sneak into nearly every photo I took because he loved the garden as much as I did. But I also kept a diary, and the diary turned into this book. In it, I chronicled not just what was blooming, but also the comings and goings of pets, neighbors, family, friends, the annual migration of monarch butterflies through Santa Cruz, and just everyday life in a little seaside town. In fact, one of the best writing lessons I ever learned came one day when I was sitting on the front porch talking to my editor in New York. She could hear, through the phone, she could hear all the sounds from the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk, which was right across the street from my house. And she said, "What is that sound?" And I said, "Oh, that's the roller coaster." She was hearing people scream on the old wooden roller coaster. And she said, "You live across the street from a roller coaster?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And she said, "Okay, you need to put that in the book." I think I had just totally taken for granted that my readers could see what I saw and could hear what I heard. So that one comment really taught me that as a writer, I have to paint a picture for my readers. And I hope that's what I did with this book. And, speaking of painting a picture, the cover, which I love so much, is from this painting, which was done by an amazing artist named Joan Griswold. And she painted this based on a photo that I sent in of my garden. All right, so that's it. Enjoy the book. You can find it in hardcover or ebook, everywhere books are sold. And I'm the author of all these other books too, so check those out and let me know what you think.